Real Estate Investing Success St. Louis Season 2 is proudly sponsored by the industry certified construction experts at ARS Construction. Let's face it, your property is ugly as ARS Construction does it right, from roofing to exterior to all your interior needs. For a free roofing estimate, call now at 844-445-ROOF. That's 844-445-7663. Or visit advancedroofsys.com. That's advancedroofsys.com. ARS Construction, roofing and construction done right. Good day, investors. I'm Antonio Holman, founder of United States Real Estate Investor at UnitedStatesRealEstateInvestor.com, and welcome to Real Estate Investing Success St. Louis Season 2, where I chat with successful real estate investors about the ins and outs and the ups and downs of the real estate investing industry right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's get into today's conversation. From confused and fearful to learning to now still learning and refining, Bennie Williams is a real estate investing success. All right, Bennie. So are you ready to talk some real estate investing with me today?
For sure. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So Bennie, aside from your real estate investing life, tell us a little bit more about your personal life.
All right. Personally, I am not only a real estate investor, but I also enjoy music. I'm a DJ and a music producer, mostly hip hop stuff. And I also work in the television industry. So, but like music and real estate, that's definitely my passion. Married, no children, have a dog, and just loving life, man.
Looks like we got some things in common because I'm a musician too. I've been a musician, man, since I was like 10 years old. So yeah. And producing music, and did a little hip hop producing, hip hop management, which was a nightmare. Managing hip hop was, it was ridiculous, but that's another story.
Yeah, same. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that.
No,
yeah, same here. I mean, I've been DJing since like 1989, and I'm actually in a recording studio now, which is what all that background stuff is.
Awesome. Yeah. I love it. Love it. All right. So what one word or phrase would you use to describe the reason why you got into real estate investing?
The phrase I would use is wealth building, and also passive income, and retire early.
Really?
Like those are the three. Yeah, I have three phrases instead of one, I guess. But yeah, definitely wealth building is and financial freedom. Financial freedom is actually the phrase or the words that I would use.
So why did those thoughts hit your mind in the beginning? What was that thought process?
The thought process was just wanting to be free of a 9-to-5, and also create generational wealth. Like that was the initial thought process. And I started to think, well, how can I do that? I know I'm not going to do it through a 9-to-5. Like no matter how much money I make, it's always going to be taxed at a certain rate. I mean, it's hard to build like generational wealth with a regular job unless you're like the CEO of a company, you're making like literally millions of dollars.
Right.
So that's really where that journey started. I've always been interested in real estate. So I figured, you know what, let me go into something that I'm really, really interested in. I actually have a finance degree. So, the idea of working with stocks and bonds, investing in stocks and bonds, and, investing in the markets, ETFs and stuff like that is sort of interesting, but I'm just not passionate about it. Real estate is something I'm passionate about. So that's really where my mind was at when I started, was how can I build wealth with something I'm passionate about? And it was real estate or music. And I know that music is very challenging and tough. So real estate was like the obvious choice for me.
Yeah. Man, we got even more in common. You're right. Wow. So what's your favorite aspect of real estate investing?
I actually like the investment part of it. I love looking for deals. Like designing designing a project is fun and it's cool and I enjoy it, but I really like looking for deals. I like finding the deal. I like the whole process, man, of like getting the deal done, turning something crappy into something that's not crappy,
Yeah.
having happy tenants and like, I mean, I enjoy the whole process. It's very therapeutic and it works both sides of my brain. It works like the business side of my brain where I always want to like, be investing and doing something business wise. And it also works the creative side of my brain where I could design these houses or these projects the way that I want to.
Okay. So now the next question I have for you, which is interesting, because I'm sure you could tie this same feeling into the music industry, being an up and down type of industry. I mean, well, life's up and down, period.
Mhm.
So throughout the time you've been doing real estate investing, what was that time when you felt most unsuccessful?
Probably a few months ago in October. A few months ago, yeah, I have a project which is my largest project right now in Lafayette Square, and that thing was falling apart. That's how I met Sheila actually. Um, the general contractors that I hired just were not good. They didn't know what they were doing, and I ended up wasting like tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, literally. I mean, I was in the hole on this project. I'm still actually in the hole on this project, but that's when I felt the most sort of like, what am I doing? And this is going to ruin my life. Like it really got to that degree, and I felt very very unsuccessful. Um, I've had to sell a couple buildings to finish this project. I mean, it was a rough moment, but out here in Los Angeles, I have a pretty good base of real estate investors that I talk to, or mentors, and just people that I talk to about real estate all the time. And every one of these people that I talk to, they all had a story similar to mine, and these are highly successful people, every last one. So it really made me change my line of thinking because if they can make it through and be successful, some of their situations were like 10 times worse than mine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I mean, on my deal, it's just a house that I'm trying to flip, and like I got some bad contractors who didn't know what they were doing and stole money. Now, imagine if you have that same situation like on a 50-unit building, you
Yeah.
know. So through talking to other investors, I realized, what, you're gonna have these issues. Pushing through it is the most important part. Um, and through this process you learn a lot. If you give up on the process, you'll never learn, and sure enough this will happen to you again many more times, but you learn from completing, basically. And I was just convinced to move forward and complete, and that's what I'm doing.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Currently, what is your real estate investing goal?
Financial goal or just overall goal?
Your overall goal for your real estate investing business.
Okay. Overall goal um, is to create enough passive income where I'm like totally and completely 1,000% financially free. I could do what I want. Um, Another goal of mine is to um, be able to use the knowledge and skills that I gather to pull other people into my community, into this industry. Like this is a viable way to create wealth. When I say I want to create generational wealth, I actually mean that. Like I'm serious. I want, my nieces and nephews and their kids to be able to benefit from what I'm doing now. So believe it or not, that's more of a goal than just a financial goal. Because one thing through real estate is like, if you keep going, you can hit your financial goals. Like it's not even that hard. But in order to create enough wealth so that it'll last for multiple generations, and for those generations to build on top of what I do now, that is the most important part for me of investing in real estate, particularly in St. Louis.
Hmm. Now, there's one thing you kind of touched on, is talking to other people and helping the generational wealth come to fruition. But with the people who tend to be closest to us, they tend to be the most difficult to convince that this is an actual viable way to achieve things like that. Now, have you felt like these people don't believe you, or you're having a hard time convincing them to get on board with what you're doing, to actually believe that it's possible?
Yeah, I'm having a super challenging time, but I just continue to show them because my words are not enough to convince people. So I just continue to show them. Like, I told you earlier that I work in the television industry. That'll be coming to an end soon. And the reason why it'll be coming to an end soon is because of real estate investment. It's not through music or anything else. It's because real estate is positioning me in a way where I don't have to wake up and go sit in traffic all day. I don't have to go sit at a job for 9 hours and then in Los Angeles get back in traffic and spend another hour and a half to get home. I only live 13 miles from my work. I mean, I don't have to do those sorts of things. So I find that showing people is more convincing than just telling people. No matter how many times I break down the models and this is how the money goes and how we can get paid, and $200 a door may seem like peanuts now, but what happens when you get 50 doors?
Exactly.
And it's $10,000 a month, and you have these huge tax write-offs. So breaking down the numbers is just part of the process, but showing them literally, like showing them how your life can change, is what I find to be most impactful. And even with that, it's still a struggle because people are just people don't like risk. And they view this, for some reason, people view real estate investing as risky, but they don't view going to a job as risky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
And a job, you could be let go at any time.
at any moment.
Yeah.
I mean, they could change your life quick.
Yes.
Like in one day. I know some people who went to work on Friday thinking they had a job, literally work the entire day and get called into human resources at 5:30. And human resources like, hey, here's your severance. We're letting you go. This is your last day.
Yeah.
And they woke up that morning like everything was cool.
Yeah. That actually happened to me. So I know what it's like. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, from change from day to night in one day that fast. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So currently, what's your favorite technology you like to use in your REI business?
I use a app called REI Kit. That is by far my favorite app. Of course, I use like Redfin and Trulia and all the other sort of stuff. I'm always on it's called Udemy. There's a bunch of people, not a bunch, but there are a few financial advisors, and they go through real estate modeling. So that's udemy.com. I'm always on there learning about stuff. So, but my favorite app by far is REI Kit. And what reikit.com, what that does is it aggregates, like for your area, like for a zip code. If you want to know how much it costs to install flooring in your zip code, they basically have an average for that number. So when you're putting your business model together, when you're putting your project model together, and you're trying to figure out your budget, you have a pretty good idea of how much things will cost. So when you talk to general contractors, they can't say, "Oh, well, this is a $200,000 job," when you know this is a $100,000 job. I mean, this software, you could put in the address of your property that you're looking at. You could even run all your lending numbers in there, like how much you have to come up with. I mean, it does a total financial breakdown. Not only that, it gives you the comps for around, it gives you the closest comps, sales comps for the address that you enter. So you know what your ARV is going to be, or roughly what your ARV is going to be. And it gives you down, it has another area of this website, like when you go to materials, I mean, you can actually pick out the screws that you're going to use, the nails that you're going to use, like down to the number, like 1,000 nails. And it aggregates all this information. and it's by zip code. So it's not like you're doing a project in Chesterfield and it's giving you numbers for if you were doing something in like Benton Park. I mean, literally, it's for Chesterfield's zip code, and it aggregates all the information. And at the end of it, it spits out a nice PDF with your property at the top, how much your financing is going to cost you, what you need to come up with, how much you will spend in holding costs. If you choose to sell it, this is what the return looks like with the taxes. If you choose to hold it, like you can hold it, you can also set it up where you're going to say, okay, I'm going to hold this property for 7 years, and you can go to Rentometer, put the address in, see what the average rent is. You put the rent in there, and it increases it by like 2% a year. Also with the ARV, also with the appreciation, so you can see at the 7-year mark financially what you're looking at. And it's called REI Kit. It's the best thing that I and on top of that, they just added another piece to this website that gives you access to owners, so you can see if an out-of-state owner owns some property, how long they've owned it, if they're renting it, how much equity they have in the property. And it gives you their contact information, their telephone number. If they have an email address, their mailing address, you can reach out to them and say, hey, I see that you have this property at 12345 Lafayette Avenue. Are you interested in selling it? You know, I mean, it's like list source. It's like list source in that way. But it has those other components too. So when you see a property, like, so suppose you contact the owner who has a property in Lafayette Square. There's no mortgage on it. They've had it for 20 years, but they live in North Carolina, and someone's renting that. If you live in St. Louis, you could drive by the property. You could Google Maps. You can see what kind of condition it's in. You can run all your numbers so you know how much it's worth. If they have been renting it, there's probably a listing that you can Google from like apartments.com or something like that, where you can see the inside of it. So you know, you have a good idea of what the inside looks like roughly, what you have to do to it, what you might have to do to it. You can work out all of your numbers. So when you call that person, you know a pretty good idea of what you need to get that property for. And you can make them an offer like at that price. Yeah. So REI Kit, man, I mean, that's been, and it works for any zip code in the United States. So it's not just St. Louis, it's for anywhere that you want to look. Yeah, that's got to be my favorite app for sure.
All right, we got commercial spot here. Cool. That's cool. I'm gonna have to take a quick note about that site.
Yeah.
My goodness, that sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's $50 a month, but it's well worth it. And like I said, the good thing about it is that at the end of it, it produces a PDF. So say, so a lot of times, like, for projects that I've done, I've taken that PDF and just sent it to my lender. Like, this is what I'm looking at.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
What's the percentage of accuracy you'd say that site gives you?
I would say it's pretty close. Like, it's in the ballpark. And when I say in a ballpark, I mean, like, if this thing is telling me a project is like 125,000, the bids, like, it'll be anywhere from like maybe 115 to maybe 135. I would say it's always, as long as you're good at what you're doing, because the output is only as good as the input, you know. So you do have to have a little bit of experience so that you know, like, okay, well, these are the kind of floors I'm going to get, and I need 2,000 square feet of these floors. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is a lot of that that goes into it. If you have a pretty good idea of what you're looking to do, it's great, man.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's great. Yeah, it's really, really good. The ARV part of it is, like, I think the most important part, to be honest. Yeah.
All right, Benny, if people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way to do that?
The best way to get in contact with me is to send me an email. That's info@willow, WILLO. So no extra W, WILLO, properties.com. That's pretty much it.
Okay, so since entering into the real estate investing world, what are you most grateful for?
I'm most grateful for just the opportunity to financially free myself. And the other thing I'm grateful for is that it's given me an opportunity to provide a different pathway for my family, and for my friends. Like those are the two things that I'm most grateful for. Like it's cool to be able to like transform houses and have tenants, give them a good place to live and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm most grateful for saying, uh, to my nieces and nephews, listen, we're gonna build this thing, and I can leave this to you. You don't have to go work for somebody else. You can work for me, and not only is this like, hey, come work for me, and you're just gonna be a worker bee. It's like I'm gonna teach you how to do this so you can work on your own.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the things that I'm most grateful for.
That's like the real sweat equity, You
Yeah.
get to put the sweat in, and then since you're part of the family, you get to reap the benefits later. So yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right, before I hit you with the last question, I just want to tell you thank you for being on the show, and I hope you have more future success coming your way.
Oh, for sure. Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for the invite.
All right, finally, Benny, what's your definition of real estate investing success?
My definition of real estate investing success is probably meeting your goals. And when your real estate goals become, when you meet those goals, it becomes a standard and you set new goals. My definition is always going to be meet your goals, tackle those, set new goals, move forward, and continue to build and accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in life. One of the things that I learned is like, not everyone wants to be like $100 million real estate person. Some people just want to build wealth and not have to work so they can take their kids to softball practice. So my definition of success is accomplishing and living your life on your terms, the way that you want to.
Investors, I hope you've enjoyed my quick conversation today. Check out more great content like this at UnitedStatesRealEstateInvestor.com. Also, do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you find podcasts. Please do us a huge favor and visit our sponsor, ARS Construction, at advancedroofsys.com. Thanks for listening, and as always, stay grateful, stay successful, and be free. If you'd like to be a guest or a host in your city, please contact us at UnitedStatesRealEstateInvestor.com. Music by Harris Heller. Is your rental business not running quite the way you hoped? Are tenant problems becoming, your problem? Are you skeptical about turning over your rental portfolio to a property manager? Meet Mark Dolfini, landlord coach, full-time real estate investor, and best-selling author of the book, The Time Wealthy Investor 2.0. Mark once thought that real estate investing was the best way to quit his job and become his own boss. The trouble was, he ended up working more hours than ever and ended up working for the worst boss in the world, himself. With lots of help, learning, and trial and error, Mark has turned his once 20-hour-per-day real estate job into a 2-hour-per-week real estate business. And he'd like to share his secrets with you so you can do the same. Head on over to landlordcoach.com/STL for Mark's free Quick Start Kit. Look, money's important, no doubt, but time is the holy grail. If you're ready to have the passive income real estate business you've always dreamed of, if you want more money and time in your life, if you want actual freedom on your calendar, if you want time wealth, head on over to landlordcoach.com/STL for your free Quick Start Kit. That's landlordcoach.com/STL. Remember, if you don't place a value on your time, someone else will.